being the East. But the war is only a few days old, and we asked ABC's John McWethy to take a look at the strategy from here on out, what we can expect in the days ahead.
The aerial bombardment of Baghdad, announcing itself with a destructive, fiery rain of precision munitions exploding in the Iraqi capital, cruise missiles and powerful bunker buster bombs. The deadly rain started about 1 p.m. New York time, 9 p.m. in Baghdad.
I'm watching half of Baghdad, it seems like. Be destroyed.
Minutes later, the Secretary of Defense and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs appeared before cameras.
A few minutes ago, the air war in Iraq began.
Several hundred military targets will be hit over the coming hours.
More than 1,500 air missions were flown today, some launched from ships at sea, some from Air Force B-52s taking off from bases in England 6 hours away, launching cruise missiles or dropping bombs from as high as 50,000 feet. More than 600 cruise missiles slammed into Iraq today, each armed with a 1,000-pound warhead. Meanwhile, U.S. and British forces went after the key Iraqi port of Qasr, fighting for nearly a day before the American flag was raised in triumph. This harbor will now become a main resupply port for cargo heading north. The fight for Basra, another major port and the second largest city in Iraq, raged for most of the night. But sources say the commander of the Iraqi division defending Basra and his top deputy have surrendered, the 1st Division commander to do so. Today's massive aerial assault on the Iraqi capital is how everyone, Pentagon planners, armchair generals, and reporters, how everyone expected Operation Iraqi Freedom to kick off.
I don't think what you're seeing in our operations right now were the plan. Matter of fact, I know they weren't.
Until last October, Marine Corps Lieutenant General Gregory Newbold headed operations for the Pentagon's Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Shock and awe can still be achieved.
Shock and awe, a catchphrase that's now become familiar. All part of a deliberate, not so subtle Pentagon plan, part public relations, part psychological warfare. If these explosions look spectacular, well, that's exactly the point.
It's more imaginative than it has been in the past. It is creative in several ways.
The messages to Saddam Hussein and his military commanders have been clear. At a Pentagon briefing just hours before the first missiles flew Wednesday night.
They really are trying to kind of ensure that everybody in Iraq understands what's coming.
That's why the attack started with stealth fighters and cruise missiles striking a target of opportunity 2 nights ago, believed to be the compound where Saddam Hussein was sleeping, an attempt to decapitate the enemy and shock his troops. 15 million leaflets calling for surrender, a wildly successful tactic in the last Gulf War, fell on Iraq like confetti. And yesterday, the ground war began. Armored vehicles by the thousands breached giant sand berms and raced more than 100 miles toward Baghdad at a record pace. And the ground assault was ahead of a sustained bombing of Baghdad. That surprised everyone.
I think it's different from what everybody expected.
What everyone expected was the bombing to start first.
And not start with, say, shock and awe or some other phase of the war.
I don't believe you have the war plan. A fact which does not make me unhappy. A war plan is something that is a plan that's developed before things start.
A plan that now includes enough firepower to convince enemy troops that resistance means death. Newbold cites Sun Tzu, the Chinese philosopher who wrote The Art of War centuries ago.
The acme of skill of a general is not to win 100 fights and 100 battles, but rather to defeat the enemy without coming to battle.
We're joined again by retired General Richard Hawley. And General, after listening to John McWethy's piece there, what are your thoughts about how the next few days may unfold?
Well, I think what we're going to see is the truism that amateurs talk about tactics and professionals talk about logistics. The next few days are going to be all about getting the logistics in place in order to complete this operation against the leadership in Baghdad.
And we heard
a couple of more questions.
I'm sorry,
here.
Cynthia,
Chris,
Cynthia
sorry.
McFadden in New York?
Chris, it's just a little awkward here. We're
Please,
trying to
Cynthia,
get
go
out to
ahead.
this 2:35 a.m. Eastern time in New York. We're going to try to take a break and let our stations know where we're at. General Hawley, let me ask you one quick question. Where is the Iraqi Air Force in all of this? We haven't seen much of them.
You know, the information I have from our Air Force is that they have not flown a sortie. That's not too surprising. They learned 12 years ago that when they fly, they die. And so I think we're seeing the lesson has stayed with them all this time.
Jack McWethy says they don't have much that looks like it's going to go up in the air either. Is that what you believe?
I don't think we'll see them fly at this point. If they were going to fly, they had to do it in the very first days, because I'm sure that the Iraqi Air Force has been one of the targets of this massive campaign that we've seen over the last several days.
General Hawley, stay with us. We're going to take a break and let our stations know where we're at. This is ABC News in New York reporting. We're going to continue with more coverage in just 3 seconds. Stay with us. I'm Cynthia McFadden, reporting from the ABC News Desk here in New York. Chris Bury is standing by in the Gulf in Qatar. We are reporting on the ongoing war with Iraq. I can tell you that overnight there were more bombings in Baghdad, if you're just joining us, and at daybreak the bombing continued. This is a live shot in Baghdad. We don't see anything happening at the moment in the skies, but we will continue to monitor the skies above Baghdad. I can tell you that overnight there was a helicopter crash, all 7 crew members presumed dead, and now the U.S. Confirming that one Navy soldier was on board, one American on board that British helicopter that went down. Let's go back, however, to General Richard Hawley, who's joining us from Washington, and Chris Bury, who's in the Gulf. General, we were talking about the Iraqi Air Force when we took a break to let our stations know where we are. So, in terms of engagement, talk a little bit more about what you think the plan may be from Saddam Hussein's point of view at this point, assuming that he's still in command and control of his military.
Well, with regard to his Air Force, I think he's given up on any fixed-wing operations or helicopter operations as far as that goes. He's relying on his AAA and surface-to-air missile capabilities in order to inflict casualties on our airmen. The rest of his plan clearly is to draw in his most capable forces into a ring around Baghdad, possibly also Tikrit, which is the home of the Ba'athist Party and Saddam's home area, but it looks like primarily around Baghdad. His plan seems to be that he hopes that when our forces arrive at Baghdad, they're going to encounter this very severe resistance, that he can buy time, inflict casualties, and try to affect our will to continue the operation to victory.
General, I would think, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I would think one of the concerns would be the bunching of our forces, and that provides a good target if, in fact, there are weapons of mass destruction that Saddam Hussein intends to use.
As you've seen some of these pictures of the 3rd Division spread out over hundreds of square miles, I don't think you're going to see a great bunching of forces. Our Army has trained very well to deal with these kind of threats. The threat that we'll face if he chooses to use his chemical munitions will be primarily from his artillery. We will use our counter-battery fires and our air power to take that out very quickly once they reveal themselves.
Chris, do you have a question for General Hawley?
Cynthia, I'd like to bring in Phoebe Marr at this point, if she's still with us in Washington. Dr. Marr, are you there?
Yes, I am. I'm here.
If General Hawley is right and Saddam Hussein is going to defend Baghdad in these concentric circles that he talked about, How long do you think his regime can hold out? What kind of a last stand would he be able to make?
I just really don't think he's got an awful lot of options, and I think we're probably talking days, not weeks. First of all, he may get a lot of defections, a collapse of the Republican Guard, the rings around the city. He may get people who turn against him inside, and in fact, he may just end up in the city without anybody to defend him.
General Hawley, from what you've been able to see, does it look like Saddam is still in tight control of his military or not?
You know, Chris, all the reports we have indicate that he does not have good control or communications with his military. And of course, that's one of the principal objectives of these air attacks right from the first day, even before the so-called shock and awe attacks, were to sever the communications between the units in the field and their headquarters in Baghdad. So my guess is that they have very difficult and sparse communications. They're probably relying a lot on runners at this point in order to get communications from whoever's running the show in Baghdad to the forces in the field.
General Hawley, every bomb dropped, the Pentagon says today, was a precision-guided, either satellite or laser-guided, with remarkable success, according to the Pentagon. Is this surprising to you, that the success rate has been so high?
Not at all. This is exactly what you should expect in any attacks in built-up areas. We will not drop an unguided weapon in a built-up area, Baghdad or any of the other cities in Iraq. The only place that you'll see unguided munitions used is against Iraqi troops out in the open, far away from any urban or residential center. Everything else is going to be a precision weapon. And the reliability of these weapons is extraordinarily high. We have had very few bad weapons go off in this new generation of munitions, the GPS-guided munitions, joint direct attack munition. The dud rate, the incidence of bombs that fly in the wrong direction is very, very low. So no, it's not surprising at all, and I'll be amazed if you see any significant stray munitions in this fight.
Dr. Marr, General Hawley was saying it looks like Saddam Hussein may be losing control of some of his forces. If that is in fact true, is it going to hasten his departure? We've already seen surrenders in the south. An entire division, at least a commander of an entire Iraqi division, has already surrendered, and about 8,000 men are said to have melted away. Does that kind of thing have a snowball effect?
Well, my understanding, of course, is that the people who have surrendered and melted away in the south, the regular army, and none of us really expects the regular army to stand up and do too much fighting. That's just not going to be, I think, the case with the Republican Guard. They're tougher, and the closer you get to Saddam and his inner circle, the less chance they have of getting a good deal from us if they surrender. Now, some of the Republican Guards may surrender, but the Special Republican Guard, the SSO, the Special Security Organization, and so on, I wouldn't really expect them to give in. It's the normal Republican Guard that may give in. So I think we can expect tougher fighting when we get to Baghdad, but how much we just don't know.
General Hawley, Dr. Marr was just saying that there may be some dealing going on, and that the longer they wait, these divisions may not get as good a deal. What kind of negotiating may be going on right now between American Pentagon officials and senior levels of the Iraqi military?
Chris, based on the reporting we've seen, it sounds like we've got direct communication between commanders in the field and their opponents. So we've probably got some effort being made by commanders and his immediate staff in the 3rd Division, for example, trying to establish communications and persuade their counterparts in the Republican Guards surrounding Baghdad, those 2 Republican Guard corps, and the Special Republican Guard Division, whose job is to protect Saddam Hussein and his regime of the wisdom of giving up the fight early. There's a psychological operation going on here against these people. And I will not be surprised if you see substantial defections and early surrenders once we make direct contact with the Republican Guard divisions. They're going to have suffered some pretty significant assaults from the air. They'll have seen the evidence of what happens when you encounter this combined arms force that we've thrown against them. They may fight for a while, but no army is going to resist this for very long. I don't think you're going to see any elements, including the Special Republican Guard, fighting to the last man.
General Richard Hawley and Dr. Phoebe Marr, it's been a long night for both of you. Thank you for taking the time to join us. We appreciate it. And now back to Cynthia McFadden in New York.
Thank you, Chris. As we come to the end of tonight's broadcast, we want to look a little bit closer to home, to the children of the men and women who are serving in our armed forces. Deborah Roberts has filed a report on the children of our soldiers and the price that they're paying for the war effort. In this war, there are two front lines.
I didn't want him to leave because if he dies in there, it's like I never had a father at all.
In this war, it isn't only the parents who serve, it is also their children.
I pray for my dad, and I think he hears me in his prayers.
In every war, there is sacrifice.
I might not even remember him because it's going to be a long time.
Hi, Sabrina. It's Mommy. I decided to make this video, and just in case Mommy gets sent off to war to go fight the bad guys and make the world a better place.
For American soldiers, sometimes going to war isn't just about what they face, as what they leave behind.
What key points has he missed in the baby's life?
Speaking, the mama and dada, the rolling over, getting the shape of a face, you know, becoming a little person, and he's missed quite a bit.
I keep running to the door every night like, Daddy, where are you?
Mommy wants to record, so you can listen when Mommy's not home.
There are more women in this war than ever before. They are in more danger than ever before. In this war, whole lives, routines, treasured moments will be put on hold or lost forever. Army Specialist Janet Rush's job is to drive troops to the front lines.
Sometimes when I put him to sleep, I'll lay him up against me, and he's not really asleep, and he'll touch my face, as he used to say, I just want to make sure you're still here.
Lieutenant Jennifer Schlatter is trained to repair roads and bridges.
Just the day-to-day, the reading the stories, the hugs and kisses, seeing how much he's going to change in the next year.
Physician's assistant Dawn Order will treat the war's wounded, all the while thinking of her two children.
Hannah, probably her smile. She's got this quirky little smile where she squints her eyes and her whole face lights up. And then with my son Joshua, his hugs, his kisses, his beautiful dark brown eyes.
When parents go off to war, the children they leave behind fight their own battles.
They make sacrifices just as much as I do, even though I may physically be going somewhere, but they're losing a part of what they're used to. You know, Mommy's not going to be there to make cookies with or make their Saturday morning pancakes with, or to be there when they bump their knee or, you know, give them that extra hug and kiss.
In this war, more than half of the combatants are married. More than 1 million children have been left behind.
Dear Daddy, I miss you so much. I give you lots of love and every letter. I miss you very, very much. When are you coming home to stay?
What do you dream about?
I dreamed of that my dad driving a tank and someone dropped a bomb on it.
Oh, that must have been upsetting.
Why am I going? It's because the Army asked us to. In my heart, I do believe 100% that it is the right thing to do, and it needs to be done. And if it has to be me, then that's the way it goes.
Lieutenant Jennifer Schlatter was pregnant with baby Sabrina when terrorist planes flew into the World Trade Center towers and the Pentagon. For weeks, even as she cuddled her newborn baby, she was haunted by the images she'd seen. Last month, Jennifer was called up by the Army Reserves. As strongly as she felt, it was a huge sacrifice for the new mother.
She's my first child. I don't know if she'll be my last. So it's just tough when I'm gonna miss part of her growing up.
Oh, we've learned that trick.
Jennifer's husband, John, a police officer, has made his own sacrifice. He's taking time off to care for the baby, a new experience for a man far more accustomed to hard-bitten criminals than teething babies.
Hi.
Jennifer has done all she can to make Sabrina's transition an easy one, leaving a detailed instruction list, a video, and pictures of herself with Sabrina. She's even left a toy dog with a recording of her voice. According to psychologists, the hardest thing military children deal with is an almost constant fear of losing a parent. Specialist Janet Rush, a mother of 4, says all of her children are suffering, especially 10-year-old Jackie.
I felt really, really, really sad. Because something might happen to her. She might not be low enough to go to the ground, gunshot to the head. I hear a lot of people dying, a lot.
That conversation is always hard, but I do want them to understand that, okay, when Mama goes away, and if there is a war, all the soldiers don't come back, you know, and that's a reality.
On this, one of Janet's last days at home, she's making sure Jackie's teachers are aware of her daughter's fears.
With you leaving, it's going to be hard on her, so we're going to keep an eye on her.
At Camp Lejeune in North Carolina, by month's end, virtually every Marine at the base will be gone.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Most children have already seen a parent leave.
And then we're going to share a little bit about how things are going at home.
Here at this Department of Defense school, the military holds routine counseling sessions and informal gatherings for their children, allowing them to express feelings they're afraid to share at home. Here, innocent talk of childish things has been replaced by talk of war, weapons, and loss.
Sometimes I wish I was out there.
Why?
With him. Because if he'd get hurt, I'd be there to help him.
Do you feel sad a lot? Yeah? When do you feel saddest?
When I'm singing the national anthem.
What do you all do when you really want to talk to your dads?
I just shut the door and go and hide in my closet.
Part of the DoD school program is having children like 7-year-old Natasha Dunlap write letters weekly.
Oh, it's beautiful, and you wrote "I love you" at the bottom.
This is the beginning of the tape.
Her father, Corey, a Marine sergeant, can't say where he's stationed, but the family was thrilled and relieved when they received a video just a few months ago. In it, he sent a video kiss to his children.
I want you guys all come real close to the screen. Natasha, Tyler.
You can.
Hurry up. Honey, bring the baby up.
But those moments of joy are few and far between.
Natasha does a lot with, are there guns? You know, does he get shot? Does he get shot at? I just said, no, he's fine. You know, he's safe, he's okay.
Natasha's mother, Tanya, is just 22. As she struggles to reassure and care for 3 children on her own, she is, like everyone, longing for the little things, the simple moments.
What do you do when you really miss your dad? What do you do to feel better?
Well, I talk to God a lot. I talk to him about, please keep my dad safe, and talk about that stuff.
Did your dad leave anything with you that'll make you feel better?
He always leaves that. That's the thing that makes me feel better. Lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. Good night, Mom. Good night, I love you. When I feel him so soft, it probably brings all the joy that me and my father had when he was here, and just makes me feel warm and happy inside.
For American soldiers, this goodbye is a supreme sacrifice.
Okay, take good care of her. I'm basically giving up being a mom. I'm giving up being her mother. Good girl. Just to help all, the rest of my family and other people's families.
Bye-bye, Mommy. Bye-bye, Mommy.
Deborah Roberts' report on the price of war that can't be calculated, the sacrifice of 1 million children who are the children of the soldiers of the U.S. military. Chris?
Cynthia, of course, it's now late on Saturday morning here in the Middle East, and the bombing in Baghdad continued into daylight this morning, and this followed just a ferocious night of American and British attacks over Baghdad. And we want to leave you now with a report filed by ABC reporter Richard Engel speaking with Peter Jennings as the worst of the attacks unfolded in Baghdad.
Richard Engel in Baghdad, tell us what you know.
Yes, well, it just, as soon as we got off air, it just, wow, the whole sky just lit up, is lighting up in front of me. On the other side of the water, I guess these are presidential sites. Basically, the entire western side of the river is now smoking. There's another Ballista fire. I guess you'll hear the. There it is. That'll give you the idea of how close. Unfortunately, this is right now. All of the tall buildings, these main government buildings that are on the other side of the river, are now on fire. This is like nothing we've seen before. If this is shocking, and this is awe-inspiring. I don't know if that's what this is intended to be, and if that's a technical military thing, but this is much, much more intense than anything we've had earlier. It's hard to even see the western side of the city because it's just all up in smoke. There's occasional missiles, explosions coming down, large explosions.
Richard, we can see very well, and you are doing terrifically well. We'll just listen to you.
All right, well, there are, what can I tell you, major explosions, sparks going up. There are anti-aircraft fire. If you're going to hold on 1 second, I'm putting on a helmet. Hold on.
Richard Engel, who's in the Palestine Hotel on the eastern side of the Tigris River there. I'm amazed that he can stay quite so calm. We're relying on, at the moment, Abu Dhabi television and Al Jazeera television, who are capturing this in the most...
The anti-aircraft fire seems to have changed direction. It is now coming slightly over the direction of the hotel, which is extremely disconcerting. It is hard to imagine that any of these large government buildings on the downtown area of Baghdad are still standing. I think there's another one that's plume of smoke. They're happening everywhere. Every few seconds, there's another burst of orange flames. That was another far away. Luckily, the wind is blowing. This downtown government side is just being devastated. It's being pummeled right in front of me.
This is supposed to be a situation, of course, in which 90% of the U.S. munitions dropped on an urban setting are specifically smart. Cruise missiles.
You just start to wonder about that other 10%. Let's hope they are relatively clever.
A vivid and violent reminder of what war is really about, and also a reminder of how much we don't know. We don't know much about civilian casualties, and none of that has been really reported yet. We don't know much about the condition of Saddam Hussein and his regime, and we don't know much about actions that are out of view of our cameras, and all of that is part of the picture we'll try to bring you in the coming hours and days. Stay tuned to your local stations and ABC News for continuing coverage of the war with Iraq. I'm Chris Bury in Doha for Cynthia McFadden and all of us at ABC News. Good.
This is ABC.
Who it is? It's ABC 7.